Every single person in this world has a story to share. Your story is your superpower, and it's unique to you. In sharing it with the world, you can impact millions of people. If you keep it to yourself, you are doing the world a disservice. This is Dela. I'm the host of Dela's Voice, and I help you share your superpower with the world.
Hello everybody, and thank you again for joining me for another Dela's Voice talk show. What a blessing this is for me. As you know, I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary for Dela's Voice, and what a year it has been. I'm going strong. Every week I bring on superheroes on the show. Superheroes with superpowers that impact the world in a positive way every single day. These are stories worth hearing. These are stories that will inform you, inspire you, motivate you to change your life for the better. My guest today is another amazing superhero with a superpower that is going to awe you. Her name is Corrie Corrigan. I don't know. Her parents were really smart to pick that name for her. It's got a really good ring to it, you know? Corrie is going to come on and she will tell you all about her story. But she is an energy alignment coach, which means that she will help you get rid of your roadblocks by clearing energy. I mean, it's really fascinating because we had a talk and she was able to pinpoint exactly where my roadblocks were. And I can't wait for you to hear her. And actually, I'm going to bring her on and I want to invite you to please share this talk with other people because you just never know whose life you're going to touch. You don't know who needs to hear this message. And maybe you yourself have a question for Corrie, a roadblock of some sort, something that has been preventing you to move on. And you can send that in the comment because yes, she can help you right from here on this show. So please help me welcome Corrie Corrigan on the show. Hi, Corrie. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. That was a great introduction.
You're so welcome. I'm so happy you're here today. I know that we're going to touch a lot of lives today, Corrie.
Yes. I can't wait. I've been waiting for this, like so excited for this for weeks.
Oh, me too. Me too. Trust me. Very excited. So when I first had a talk with you, when we were meeting, I asked you, I said, Corrie, do you think that you can? And you said, yes, I can.
Yeah. Yes.
You know exactly what I was going to talk about.
It's funny because I actually knew, I think like 10 or 15 minutes before then, I got this feeling you were going to ask me this. And I just kind of waited and waited and waited. And then I was going to say to you, and I can do this. But I waited to see if you would ask. And then you did. And that's why I was like, yes, I can.
So here's your chance, folks, whoever's watching this show, okay? If you'd like Corrie to read your energy regarding a roadblock in your life, send us a text message right here under this post, like with the comments, ask your question. So what do you want them to ask you, Corrie? Just give them some direction so they know what they're looking for.
It could be anything. I think the biggest thing that I get is like that we're in that hamster wheel of life, right? So you're doing the same things over and over again, repeating the same patterns, having the same habits, the same behaviors. No matter how hard you try to get out of it, there's always that one thing, or maybe it's multiple things that you're doing over and over again, despite how hard you try not to. And so that's part of what I do, is figure out why it is that you do that, where that habit, where that belief, where that action comes from, where those patterns were started. And so then how do we clear them from there? And so if you are, why do I pick the same men or women, or why do I, repeat those same habits or those same patterns, or end up in the same jobs or the same conversations, the same relationships, and you want to know why, you want to figure out, like, what is the issue? Maybe you're at a crossroads for a job or a career that you're trying to decide, and you don't know how to pick which one is the right one for you. That's where being an energy reader is super helpful, because being in your energy, I can tell you what it is that you want versus what you're doing just to please other people, or what you think society is expecting of you, and that kind of stuff. So honestly, it could be anything. You could be asking me anything. Given, all of that, the answer I may give you may actually have nothing to do with the question you're asking me. And the reason for that is sometimes what happens is an issue will come up and block us. And so the thing that we think is our problem actually isn't the problem. Mm-hmm. And so I just follow the energy wherever the energy takes me. And usually it takes me, sometimes it's the same spot, but usually it's somewhere different first, because before we notice it on a physical area and a physical realm, it always starts energetic first. So where I'm going to go is follow the energy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. So that people know we're here. So just send us your question or your comments, and we'll read them as the show goes on. But Corrie, first I want to ask you to maybe just give us a little background story of, like, how the heck did you start this journey? I mean, I know that for a long time you were a dental hygienist.
I was, an assistant. I was
a dental assistant for a long time. And then you take a 180 and then you do this. Like, how did this happen? Can you take us back a little bit?
Yeah. So when my boys, I have 2 teenage boys. So my boys are 19 and 20. So when they were younger, I was in the dental field. I've been in the dental field for 20 years. And so my youngest guy, for some people will know kind of the starting of my story. Most of you won't. My youngest guy suffered from severe mental health issues. So he had severe depression, social anxiety, and we were heading into a diagnosis for oppositional defiance disorder. So by the time he was 16, he had attempted suicide for the 3rd time. And obviously you would think the first time was a wake-up call. For me, I tried to manage it and still be a full-time employee working in dental. At the same time, I was trying to manage my son and everything that he was going through. The 3rd attempt for me was that day where I said enough is enough. I obviously need to be home with my son. I need to figure out my family. I need to figure out what that looks like for me, for us, for, our home. And so I left dental. I was on a leave of absence. I was, working with my son and figuring out what was best for him, what was going on with him, managing appointments and all that other stuff. And at the time, I had hired a coach to help me figure out my blocks. What was I going to do? Because A, as a woman, B, as a mom, and C, as a mom with a child with mental health issues, we always put ourselves last. Like those, we're like down there on the list, right? And so I hired somebody to teach me how to put myself higher up on the list. And part of that person's teachings was to show me how to listen to my own guidance and to trust that when stuff came up in conversation over and over and over again, it was meant for me. And so Reiki was one of those things that kept coming up, Reiki, Reiki, Reiki. And so I said, okay, well, let me figure out what that is. I had no idea what it was, what it meant, where it was going, none of that. But what Reiki did for me when I started doing my Reiki level 1 practitioner, then I did my level 2, then I did my master's, is it actually taught me how to feel and read energy. And so then I came away from Reiki and I started doing more of the energy work and the energy healing and all of those things. And simultaneously using all of the tools that I then was gathering to help heal myself. And, I think it's funny, in a lot of conversations that I have, people will say to me, my son was 16. So what could I possibly have done that made such a significant difference in his life? And it's interesting because we do think of, as parents, right? When they're younger, they're 2, they're 3, we watch our words, we watch what we do, knowing that our children are going to pick that up. They're going to mimic it. It's going to be our first, our forever words, or, our go-to words are going to be their first words. And so we're very aware of our language. We don't realize or make the connection that our children are paying just as much attention to us when they're 15, 16, 17, as they are when they're 2 and 3. And so, in changing myself, in figuring out my energy and what I needed to do and where my blocks were and what I needed to overcome, it naturally trickled down into my son. And now today, he's 19 years old. He doesn't struggle with depression issues. The odd time, obviously, I think everybody has anxiety on some level, but he has regular teenage boy issues now versus the extreme struggle he had when he was 16. And so we've come so far. He's come so far. And I transitioned into, me and my son, and then helping other families connect with their children as well. And other moms figuring out how to first figure out you so that you can help your child, which led me into helping women, just women in general, because, we do have that natural instinct for caregiving and putting ourselves last on the list, and those patterns and habits and where they come from, and tracing our beliefs and our habits back to where they first start. Why do we believe the way that we do? Why do we think the way that we do? And how can we use that? Not to give ourselves guilt and shame, which, we always do, but how do we use that to actually drive us forward to create the lives that we've always dreamed of, to create the lives that we came here wanting to have?
Wow. Amazing. Thank you so much for explaining that so clearly. And as you're talking, it's true, right? And I know what it takes to be a caregiver, especially for someone with special needs. And we do put ourselves last. And as women, we do naturally anyways.
Yes.
And so what happens is we forget ourselves in the process, and we go through something called caregiver stress or burnout. And we're no good to anyone. And I've experienced that myself. And it wasn't until I decided that it's time to take care of me, which meant that I needed to go inside and heal myself, that things around me started to change. And so no wonder your son's doing better today, because you changed. I'm sure you changed that dynamic.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And if you think about it too, right? And I always try and take my clients back to children, because children exaggerate things so greatly that it's easier to use them as examples, right? If we think about a child having a meltdown, they don't just start having a meltdown. They ask us, can I have a cookie? And then we say no, because we're making dinner. They start whining, they start crying. Like, they always up the ante, right? Everything they do starts at something small and it goes into something big. And we are no different. We start just this small little sacrifice one day, builds on a sacrifice, builds on a sacrifice. And the next thing you know, we are climbing into bed at the end of the day, completely exhausted. We're waking up even more exhausted than we went to bed the night before. We have no idea why we're doing what we're doing. Half the time, we don't even know what we're doing. We're just doing it. We're reacting. It's that autopilot that takes us through like every single day. And we string all of these days together, all of these moments together, until one day we go, I can't get out of bed today. Yeah. I'm exhausted. I need to run away. I need to, because we've been sacrificing ourselves for so long, just in that one moment, that 1 second that we made that decision. This is a small thing. And yes, it is a small thing at the time, but 500,000 small things equals one ginormous thing.
Oh my gosh. That's so good. You're so right. So at some point you must have discovered that you have a knack for these things. I mean, you've got a talent. I'm assuming that not everyone is capable of doing what you do. So how does that happen? How did you discover that?
It's interesting because going back to Reiki, I didn't know what Reiki was. I didn't know what Reiki did. I had never had a treatment. I had never really, had any experience with Reiki. And so I had done it in the beginning as a level 1 practitioner. You have to collect so many hours, right? And so I was doing it just to collect the hours. And so I said to so many people, right, whoever wants it, come get it. I will do it for free. I just need to use your case as a case study for my my license. And so in doing that, there were multiple times where I can like now look back, and during my sessions, I was thinking, oh God, how am I ever going to get through this? Like my back is killing me, or I have such a headache. I don't even know if I'm going to make it to the end of this. I might have to cut it short. How can I cut it short? Right. And I would come out of the room, and I had always, my Reiki master who taught me, always from the very beginning said to me, develop the same practice, do the same thing the same way every single time. And so I would come out of my treatment room and I would wash my hands to disconnect my energy from the other person and vice versa. And all of a sudden it started, I didn't have a headache anymore. I didn't have back pain anymore. I didn't have whatever the issue was.
What?
And it was the craziest thing. And so I would make notes and say, like, I had this back issue, and I still hadn't yet put two and two together. I just knew that I was feeling things in the room that I didn't feel out of the room. Right. And so I had one person come to me, and I was working with her at the time, and she also didn't know anything about Reiki. And she said, I'll just do this for you. You need the case study. I have no idea what it is. I'll just come, and it's an hour of my time. I get to spend it with you. Who cares? And so when we came out of the room, I said to her, do you have back issues? Like, do you slouch a lot? Do you, what are your any area of your back where you have problems? And she said, no, nothing. I never have problems. I've never had problems. And so I sat and I thought about it. And I, for whatever reason, my intuition said, ask, like, where is this? What is it supposed to mean for me? Because there's a reason I'm feeling things that other people aren't feeling. And so I sat with it for, maybe a minute or two. And I said, the only other thing that I can think of is the area in which I'm getting pain is related to your solar plexus chakra, right? And so that governs your self-worth. So feeling like you are good enough, deserving, worthy of all the things that are happening. And she'd always seemed like somebody who was so collected and put together and independent. And she broke down and started crying and said, I don't feel like I'm good enough. I don't feel like I'm worthy. I am having these problems. There's this relationship, and we go into this whole thing. And when we were done, I was like, holy crap. That was my pivotal moment where I was like, this is more than just I feel something they don't realize they're feeling. And so from that moment on, I started paying attention to what was I feeling in the room that I didn't before I walked in. And then during my sessions, I would just ask, what does this mean? What am I supposed to tell this person? What is the message I'm supposed to give to them or help them clear? Because they're coming to me to clear something. And I would just talk through all my sessions. And, a year into Reiki, I used to say to people, and I actually had somebody, I was rebranding, and they were going to rebrand for me. And my whole thing was Reiki by design, because it was my take on Reiki. I talked through it. I coached through it. I went through the issues that I felt and what they meant, and, getting those downloads and what those messages were for each of the people that came to me. And then I realized I didn't need to do it through Reiki. I didn't need to do it in person. I could do it through video call. I could do it through a phone call. I could do it through a text message. I could do it, through an email. I could do it through however, because we are all energy. Everything is energy. And so to feel energy, I don't need to physically touch people.
That's fascinating. Like, that's fascinating. So I'm just flabbergasted. And I do have this, I want to put up this because I think it's really cool about what we're talking about. What's my energy got to do with it?
Yes.
So your answer would be?
Everything, because everything is energy, right? And that's a big part of what we don't realize. Everything we do, everything we see, everything we are is energy, vibrating at a different level, but it's all energy. And so what does your energy have to do with it? It is who you are. It is what you put into it. It is what you get out of it. It is everything. Everything is energy.
Okay. So you talked about the solar plexus chakra. And yeah. I want to ask you, because I don't know what that is. I don't know where that is. And I was wondering if you could explain a little bit about the chakras and what the different places mean. If you can fit that into our talk, that would be great.
Of course. So we have 7 main energy centers, and those are what we call chakras. Okay. It's not that you have 7, you have many more. There are major and minor, but we have 7 major. And so those are they run kind of straight up the middle of your body. So if we start at your tailbone, the tip of your tailbone is your root chakra. Coming up from that is your sacral. So that's right around your belly button area, just, in around there. And then right in that kind of that nook of your ribs is your solar plexus. Then you've got your heart chakra, obviously at your heart, your throat chakra in the middle of your throat, your third eye, which is kind of the middle of your forehead in between your eyes, and then your crown chakra, the top of your head pointing up. And so each of your chakras is responsible for something different. If you think about your baggage that we carry, all of different baggages are stored in each of these chakras. And so, for me, primarily, I work a lot with your lower 3 chakras. So your root chakra is, your fear of judgment, people pleasing, your family, who are you, who you're here to serve, what you're here to do in this world. And then your solar plexus is your sex and money. And so it's your ability to put yourself out there. I want to be seen. I want to share my message with the world. And I want to stand out and be where I'm supposed to be, when I'm supposed to be there, how I'm supposed to be there. Right. And then you've got your solar plexus, which is your I am deserving, I am worthy, I am good enough. And so that is where we carry all of our guilt and shame and, can I do this? Am I good enough? You can have it, but I can't. You're meant for it, but I'm not. All of that is carried in there. And so, I would say 99% of what I do is all in those lower 3 chakras, clearing out all of the baggage that we carry from our, 0 to 8, where our belief system is developed. And what are we carrying in those lower 3 chakras that we are practicing every single day, not even knowing we're doing it?
So what you do is you clear the energy, which means all the stuff, the baggage that has been stored in a person's solar plexus, for example.
Right.
Right. And so you clear up that energy, but you clear it. How? How do you clear it?
So the first part of clearing, like anything else in the world, is awareness. So being in your energy, what I do is I connect to your energy. I tell you what I'm feeling in there. And it is a generalization. I'll tell you what I feel. I'll tell you what it means. And you're going to tell me if there's something in your life that relates to that. The second we can figure out, and you and I did this on a previous call, the second we hone in on exactly what it is that I'm talking about, now I can feel into that exact situation, why you have the thoughts, actions, and beliefs that you do for that specific situation. And we'll go through. And 9 times out of 10, in the first phone call, I'm able to chase that all the way back as far as it will go to a specific event or experience that you've had in your life that started that belief for you. So if we go to something, for instance, people pleasing, it could be something as simple as, your parents were getting ready for a dinner party and they wanted you to dress in your best because all of these people were going to be looking at you and all of these people wanted to see how beautiful you are and, how well behaved you can be. And so you develop this, I've got to be on my A game every single time. I've got to be dressed and primed and ready to go and always say the right thing and be the perfect person and, all of these things every single time. And when you're off, you develop this, oh God, what are they going to think of me? What are they going to, I don't have all my makeup on. So now what are they going to think of me? I'm not dressed in my best clothes. Are they going to like me? I don't have anything to offer. I don't have anything to share. And so then what we do is we practice that throughout the rest of our lives. And going back to energy, we call in all of the people who are going to reinforce that belief that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving. And so it's the reason why, and I'm sure we can all think back to that one time where you go, oh God, please don't let them notice that my shirt is got a stain on the top corner or my hair is out, or don't let them notice that I put eyeliner under one eye and not the other or whatever. And someone always points it out and goes, hey, what's going on over there? Your eyes look different, or like, right? because it's the thing that we are attaching our energy to.
Yes.
Staying in the corner, or that thing that I didn't do properly. And so people are always going to pick up on it, and they're going to come back to us as a reflection of our fears, of where we put our energy. And they're going to say, hey, by the way, there's this flashing neon sign over there that tells me that you've got a stain in the corner of your shirt. And so, and then we go, oh, see, I knew it. I knew they were going to pick up on it, which reinforces that I have to be primed, prepped, and ready to go before, right? So it's all energy.
And so also, like, the story we tell ourselves, I mean, that person might not even care, right? It's just the stain. But then it's the story we tell ourselves afterwards. Well, what does that mean about me, right?
Absolutely. And that's the thing, we stay in our heads, right? And that's part of that lower 3 chakras and that people pleasing, fear of judgment. We make it far worse than it is. They could just be saying like, hey, Dela, did you notice that you maybe adjust your hair so that other people can't see it? And we go, oh, see, they noticed it. I'm not perfect. I did this. I did that. Now they don't like me. They're not going to invite me back on their show. They're not going to. And we create this whole series of events, which then, of course, we draw energy to, which is then reinforced and comes back to us. And so when you do that year after year, decade after decade, and you're going through this all the time, you look at somebody like me and goes, oh, well, that's easy. Just do this thing. And you're going, yeah, but it's not possible. It can't possibly be that easy. It is that easy. It's all in the awareness, drawing the awareness to your habits, your patterns, where they start, why you do them, and then we can clear them. Then I can give you a series of exercises to do specific to you, specific to your energy. Not everybody gets the same exercises. Not everybody does the same things because not everybody is the same.
Yeah. I want to go through some of the comments just to make sure that people know we are acknowledging them. We know you're here. Thank you. We appreciate you being here. I've got Sarah saying congratulations. Josie saying, hey, Corrie.
No, that's my sister-in-law.
The same last name, must be related. And actually, I did notice that she had shared this post. So thank you so much, Josie. Thank you. And I think she's tagged someone, Sammy Default. Frida is here. She's my mama. She's always. Thanks, Mom. Lizzie T, the amazing Lizzie T. She's the Lizzie T Show. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Lizzie. Robert J. Moore, my beautiful coach. He says, hey, Dela and Corrie, I remember sharing the stage with Corrie at Mo Mondays a while ago.
I was just going to say, I think I've met him before.
yes, with the magnetic entrepreneur. Emilio Roman, hello, my brother. He says, passing through. Thank you. Hello to you. And Josie says, you're welcome. So, okay, I want to ask you.
Yes.
To tell us just a couple of examples of like that things that come to your mind that you've helped people with and you've changed their lives.
Okay. So, goodness, which client do I pick? Which thing? There's so many. Okay. So I'll go to one recently. I think it was yesterday or the day before, I got a message on Messenger thanking me. So somebody had reached out about 2 months ago now and said, I don't know why, but you keep coming up in my newsfeed. And so I'm reaching out to do an energy reading with you. So we had set up a call. I did a reading. And we went through some stuff going on in her life. And I said, this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling this. It's like a nervous energy, but it almost felt like I have something to say. I want to do something. Like, that when you've been sitting in the house all day and you've got that restless energy that just goes, I just need to get out. I just need to do something. So it was that. I was feeling that. And I said, where is this coming from? What is this about for you? Is there something that you are holding back from? And at the same time, my my sacral chakra, which is just kind of around your belly button area, I felt like a stabbing pain, which tells me that you aren't stepping out into being seen. You're not, putting yourself out there. I said, how do these two things connect for you? And she said, it's interesting that you would ask me that because I have this wreath thing that I do, and I make wreaths for people and I give them away, and I want to start selling them, but I don't, I'm not really sure if I can do that. Am I, or do people want wreaths? Are they going to buy them from me? And, we went into this whole conversation, and she just sent me a message 2 days ago and said, I wanted to thank you for that conversation, because now she's talking about it more. She's putting herself out there more. People are, even though she's giving away her wreaths to people, they're donating materials for her in exchange for her making the wreath for them. And then she's sharing all of that out into the world so that people who want to buy them from her can see what she's doing and what she makes and how, talented she is in all of that. And for me, it just comes through in this, this nagging, restless energy. And so now when she sent me that message, I feel that she is more grounded, more calm, more centered, more owning who she is and proud of who she is and her accomplishments, and being able to put these wreaths out there without having that doubt of does anybody really even want these things? Am I just wasting my time? She's proud of them, and she knows now people appreciate them. People want them. This is a great thing for her, and she loves doing it.
So I love that. It seems like it always comes back to I'm not enough.
Because I think that is one theme that for everybody, whether you're male or female, whether you're young or old, it's that voice in our head that always comes back to nobody's going to want to hear what you have to say. Nobody's going to want to, pay attention to this. It stops us from doing 95% of the ideas that we have. Right after we have them, we get this great, fantastic idea. And then we go, but is it really that great? Can I really pull that off? Am I the person to do it? Am I the best person for the job? Am I, who wants to hear what I have to say? Is anybody going to show up? I can run this event, but who's going to show up? Right? It always boils back to that.
Yes. And so what's your answer to that?
Do it anyway. If you're getting that feeling, right? And I have, somebody who I greatly respect, and they have a podcast, and on his podcast, he says, when you get this idea, right, write it down. Don't just let it be a passing thought in the wind. Write it down and sit on it for 72 hours. Let it fester. And if after 72 hours, more ideas, more, growing that idea and that, whether it's a business idea or, something else, more ideas will come to give that some sort of substance, and you'll be able to act on it. You'll be clear on what it is. But if we just, and as humans, we do this a lot. We go, oh yeah, I should write this thing, or I should do this post, or this would make a great Instagram picture, or that's a great business idea. And then it stops. Then we don't do anything with it anymore. So the thing is, if you write down what your ideas are and sit with them, let them fester. Or if they're really great, just start acting on them. Because when we give the universe that gratitude of, this is a great idea and I trust you and I'm going to act on it, more things that support it start to come in to balance that idea. When it comes in and we go, yeah, that's a great idea, and we do nothing with it, the universe or God or source energy, whatever your belief is, whatever your thing is, goes, oh, well, she must not have liked that. So don't send her any more to back that idea up. We're just going to let that go.
So much sense.
Right? I try and explain it, and it's interesting because I'm not a huge McDonald's fan. So this is not, a thing for McDonald's by any stretch, but I like to compare it to a McDonald's drive-through. If you pull up at the McDonald's drive-through and you say to the lady on the other side, or man, whatever, when they come through and say, how can we help you? If you say, oh, I want a Big Mac meal. No, wait, actually, I want chicken nuggets. Okay, no, can you pass me a salad? No, not, actually, I want a burger. Yes, I want a burger. And then you just drive up to the window. The person on the other end has absolutely no idea what to send you out because you're not clear on what you want. But if you roll up to that window and you're like, I want a Big Mac combo, large size of fries. I want no ice or ice in my drink. I want extra pickles, no onions, whatever. You're very crystal clear. You roll up to the window and your order's waiting on the other side. The universe is exactly like that. The more crystal clear you get on what you want, the more you act on it, the more you trust that it's coming and it is for you. right? If you get the feeling that you should do the thing, it is for you. Do the thing, whatever that is.
I love that analogy too with the McDonald's drive-thru because it's so true. Not only you're crystal clear on what you want, but you're also you expect nothing else.
Absolutely.
So it will have to come to you.
And you're very confident. You go roll up to that, that screen and you say, I want all of this.
Yeah.
You're very confident you're going to roll up to the window and you're going to get what you ask for.
Yes.
They may have given you onions when you asked for none, or they may given you, 2 pickles instead of 1 when you wanted 5. So then you tweak it. The next time you go through the drive-through order, what do? You don't say, oh, actually, I'm not going to eat here ever again. You say, okay, last time you gave me 2, but this time I want 5 pickles. And last time you put onions on and I want none. And yet when we talk about like what we want and our dreams and our goals, we never go back and tweak it. We always go, oh, I just failed at that. I might as well throw that one in the garbage because I failed. You didn't fail, just tweak it.
That's so good. So good. Wow. If you're just joining us, this is your chance to put in the comment section whatever you feel like it's blocking you. And Corrie's going to try and help you because this is really interesting. And so not only you get help you need, but also the rest of us will listen and learn. And I bet you're not the only one with that block. So I'm going to ask you actually, Corrie, because I know a lot of people have this block and it's around money. Okay, it's the first time you've ever heard this, always. Obviously.
Always.
You were like shocked. What?
I've never had this happen before. Whatever are you going to ask me?
So what do you need from me?
Do you have a question? Is there something like it's around money, but what is the specific question or struggle that you're having?
So asking the right amount of money for the service you provide.
Mm-hmm. So the first question that comes to mind is, do you feel you deserve it? So it comes back to a worthiness issue, right? Mm-hmm. If you're a coach or you're an entrepreneur and you're selling a product, or yourself is the product, and you're saying, I want to sell my coaching program or my whatever for $5,000. The question is, do you feel like you're worth $5,000? Mm-hmm. Because if the answer is no, you're not going to sell your program for $5,000. You're going to block it every single time. And again, going back to that whole idea of you're going to get a reinforced idea of your fears, of what you're actually thinking. So yes, the words coming out of your mouth is, I want $5,000. But every part of your energy is saying, they're never going to pay me $5,000. This is ridiculous. This is ludicrous. I can't ask for this $5,000.
Yes.
And so what is the person on the other end going to say? I don't know if that's worth it. I have another coach who is going to do it for less. Let me look into that. Or that's a lot of money and I don't know if it's in my budget. They're going to give you the answer that you fear the most because that's the energy you're putting out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But if you were to ask them for an amount that you feel you are worth, your time is worth, your program is worth, the transformation is worth, those are the people who are going to say to you, yeah, no problem. What do you need from me? Do you need my credit card? Do you need me to PayPal? Like, how is this going to happen? Let's sign up right now. Mm-hmm. Because your energy is saying, this is absolutely going to be it for me. Yeah. The flip side of that, I will tell you, is that sometimes it also has absolutely nothing to do with us. It's not that I don't value myself. It's the client that I am going to help and the transformation they're going to get. They don't feel they value. Mm-hmm. They're not ready for. And so in either part of that exchange, we as an individual can only control what we can control. We can only do with the information we have. So we go back and we say, is it me? Do I feel like I'm worth $5,000? Do I feel like I deserve this money? Do I feel like, I'm all in, that my clients are going to get the transformation that I'm telling them they're going to get? Have I seen results of that? Or do I know that this is true? And if your answer is yes, Sometimes it just has nothing to do with us. As much as we are egotistical and would like to think that the world revolves around everything that we are, sometimes it doesn't have anything to do with us. And it's the other person on the other end needs something else to occur in their life in order for that transaction to come true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. Thank you. There's a lot to think about there. Josie says, what are some of your tweaks? I think going back to putting out what you want. Yeah. Okay. So you know exactly.
Yeah. Yes. So sometimes what happens is, let's just say you're trying to manifest a specific person in a relationship. And so you're going to write down your qualities of your person. What do they have? And it's not just about qualities as in like, they're loving, they're family oriented, they, love to do this thing or that thing. Sometimes it is as specific as blonde hair, blue eyes, medium build, 5'10", whatever your thing is, right? And you're going to put your qualities down. And then you're going to meet said person. Maybe that person actually, has something you don't like, is not employed. And, a job is important to you. You want them to have a job, or maybe they have a job, but they don't, self-growth and self-development isn't important to them, and it is to you. And so you'll attract this person and you want to grow, and they're quite comfortable exactly where they are. So it's not that you go, oh, well, see, I'm destined to be single for the rest of my life. I can never have another relationship. I'm not supposed to have what I want. And, God gives it to everybody else and not me.
Yeah.
You just go back and you tweak it and you go, okay, you know what? The family thing wasn't as important to me, or the blonde hair wasn't as important to me. He can have brown hair. He can have no hair. I don't really care about the hair. The growth, the self-development, that part is super important to me. So I'm going to take this off and I'm going to put this on. And then you do it again, bringing in your person, bringing in your stuff, and what is important to you and what is not. The key isn't so much what comes as much as trusting that it's going to come to you. And then when it comes, is it exactly how you wanted it to be? Does it look exactly how you thought it was, right? Our capacity to dream and to, envision what we want is only that at which we think we're capable of. We can't understand poverty to a level beyond what we have seen. We can't understand wealth beyond a level what we've seen. And so we also can't understand that I can have everything I want if everything in our life that we've been shown is that it's a struggle, it's hard, I have to work for it, it's blood, sweat, and tears go into everything. Then we start to get that confined feeling of like, maybe I won't get it. Maybe I don't, it's not what I want. Maybe now's not the right time. Maybe I just need to wait 3 or 4 months. Maybe I need to wait for, whatever. We can have whatever we want when we believe that A, we deserve it, B, it's something that we actually want, and C, then when we trust that we're going to get it, it's for us.
So that's a big block though, right there.
Kinda.
So how do you help people get over that?
I know. So it's like an onion, right? Nothing is like gone forever. Nothing is like just one fix and you're like, you're fixed for the rest of your life and it's never going to come up again. It's like an onion. I'm going to peel one layer of an onion, and then it might come up for you in another situation somewhere else. And we're going to peel that layer and that layer. And we're just going to keep going layer after layer after layer. And so sometimes you can clear a really big block, which will take you layers and layers in, right? It's the reason the dandelion is my logo piece. And it's because of the seeds. We use the pieces of us. We use who we are, our experiences, for good, bad, or indifferent, to grow who we want to be. Use them how you want to use them. Instead of guilting and shaming and, burying our head in the sand and thinking that we're never good enough and we never get what we want, really going back into that, how can I let go of this situation and use it so that it's not a negative in my life? It's actually a super positive. And it gave me the strength that I needed. It gave me the determination. It gave me, whatever good came out of that. And then you head down the road again, and you might see something come back up that is at maybe a money block in a different area. Where does that come from? Why is that there? Everything for us shows up as lessons to help us clear out all of our stuff so that we are able to manifest and be who we want to be exactly at the time that we're meant to be there.
Oh, this is so good. So good. This kind of comes to me, and I want to ask you, because I know a lot of people who deal with this issue of weight loss. So I want to see if you have anything that would help clear this for people.
There's a lot of people have weight issues for a variety of different reasons. So sometimes it is to cover up trauma. Sometimes it is a protection issue. Sometimes it is, a self-worth issue. Sometimes it just depends on what the issue is. And so depending on, and this is why I say everybody gets a different exercise, because everybody has different issues for different reasons. And so although 99.9% of the population will have a money block, not everybody has it for the same reason, which means not the same exercises aren't going to work for everybody, right? So one of the things that I use in my practice is meditation, and another thing is journaling, right? Really, meditation, we think of like that Buddhist monk that sits, for hours and hours and hours and is quiet. And I always go back to that Eat, Pray, Love movie, right? If anybody's ever seen it. And Julia Roberts is in the temple and she's going through all these thoughts in her mind and looks at the clock and she's only been doing it for 2 minutes and it feels like it's like 10 hours, right?
Yes, I can relate to that.
That is real. It happens to all of us.
Yes.
But when you practice it, and meditation can it can be something as simple as just breathing in and breathing out. And with every exhale, relax a different part of your body until you are completely relaxed. And then ask yourself, what is this block for me? Why do I keep going back to this? Have a pen and paper ready and start journaling. And it doesn't matter what comes up. It will all lead back to the right answer. I will sometimes say to my clients, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to give me the first thing that comes to your mind. So if I ask you, what's your favorite color? And you say, blue elephants, that's what you're meant to say. We're going to follow that. And so it isn't about, we always think that, we've got all the answers. It actually, we are so good at lying to ourselves and hiding from ourselves. So journaling, your mind is going to kick in the beginning and it's going to try to control the narrative. It's going to try to write the thing that makes the most sense. Well, yeah, but because, my mom overfed me when I was 2, or because I had to sit at the table and finish my dinner. I wasn't allowed to leave until it was done, or whatever. There is always a deeper issue. And so keep going. Don't just stop 3 sentences in and think that that's it and you're done and that's all you have to say. And, oh, that's it. It must be my mom's fault. Go deeper than that. Why is that an issue for you today? Today, as an adult, you can leave your plate. You can do all of these things. And so tracing it back to where it actually is. And I will tell my clients the same thing that, I'm sharing with you guys. When you shock yourself and you go, oh God, and you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach where, I wish I wouldn't have just said that out loud, or I can't believe I just wrote that down. You're probably the closest you've ever been to the truth. And if you don't get that, you're still lying. Keep going.
Wow. That's good. Okay. I've got Simone saying this is powerful and awesome. Thank you. Radio Shamroon. Saying hi, saying us hearts. Marianne says hi, and Samira, thank you so much. Okay, so I know that you have a process of how you help people, and you have programs and stuff. So why don't you tell us a little bit about them? Because I want people to be able to come to you, and who, like, okay, I think this is a better question. Okay, I'm rewinding.
Okay.
How do we know we need your help?
Okay. So it's interesting because I actually was just asked this recently. So I have the perfect answer for that.
Yay.
If you are somebody who is always on that hamster wheel, right? Like I said, you go to bed drained, you wake up even more drained than the day before. You're doing the same thing over and over again, frustrated every day, snapping at your kids or your husband or your coworkers or your friends, and you don't know why you're doing it. You don't know, why you're angry or why you're frustrated, or you're in that overwhelm and you can't seem to catch your breath. You're like, I just need 5 minutes. 5 minutes of time to just catch my breath, collect my thoughts, figure my stuff out. And for whatever reason, your day does not allow it. And you enter one day after another, not having the answers of like, where is this? Why do I keep doing this? And yet you question yourself. How did I get here? Why am I in this again? I thought I fixed this and I did it differently. And how am I in the same relationship or in the same job or doing the same thing? That's where I come in. Right? So I work exclusively with women to help them clear out their past, those limiting beliefs, those barriers that we create for ourselves, where they come from, why they're there. That's my job. That's where I come in and I help you figure that out. And we release those blocks, let go of them so that you can finally live who you're meant to be, how you want to live, and be the person that you wake up every day and go, I'm fully energized. Like, what am I going to do with my day? I can do whatever I want, and love who you are and what you do, because we are all supposed to love who we are and what we do. And if you don't, then that's where I come in.
Oh my gosh. Life is so short to
Absolutely.
to not live it fully. That's amazing. Okay. All right. So before you continue, because I want to ask you this question, Josie left. How do you make yourself to be more honest with yourself? It's a great question.
It is. And the reason we have a hard time doing it is because we are so good at lying and hiding from ourselves, right? We know what our deepest fears and our deepest regrets are. And so we try really hard to stay away from them. And so if you can't get there on your own, and one of the techniques that I like to teach people is, being that 3-year-old child. Why? Everything is why. Think back to every 3-year-old you've ever met in your whole life. Why is the sky blue? And why is the sun up there? And why do you do that? And why is this? And why are you making dinner? Why are you cutting potatoes? Why did you, everything is why. And so if we use the same analogy, why am I feeling this way? Well, because, the guy at work really ticked me off. Why did he tick you off? Why did that bother you? And then an answer will come. And if you get so far down the chain and you are stopping yourself and you can't be honest with yourself, that's where a coach comes in. That's where I come in. That's where I come in and go, okay, no, that's not the truth. You can say to me, well, yeah, it is because of this. And I'm going to tell you, because that's what you're paying me to do. That's not true. You're hiding from yourself. There's something that's more. And so if we think about our brain as being two different parts, there's our conscious brain and our subconscious brain, right? Our conscious brain runs 5% of what we do in a day. Our subconscious mind runs the other 95%. And so can you hide in that 95%? Can you hide from yourself? Of course you can. I sit in that 95%. And so your mouth, your conscious mind is going to say to me, no, I really want to do this thing, or no, that's the final answer. I'm here to tell you it's not. I'm going to make you go into the places that you don't want to go, that you're hiding from, that you fear, because that is where we clear it. I don't want to clear the shallow surface stuff. I want to clear the root, right? It's the same. And this is, again, the dandelion. You can cut the head off a dandelion. Cool. You can even, cut the grass and mow 95% of it and it's gone. But until you pull it out at the root, at the core, it's going to come back time and time and time again. So I don't want the head of the dandelion. I don't want the stuff that's on the surface. I want to go deeper. I want to go right to the root. I want to come to the whole experience and event that caused these sets of actions for you, that caused this issue, because healing that at the core of where it is and why it is, that's how behavior starts to change. That's how we start to get over that and call in different things and live the life that we want to without being held back by all the stuff that we're running from and hiding from and afraid to look at.
Wow.
And somebody needs to hear this. It's like cleaning out your closet. I don't know who has stuff hiding in their closet, but it's like you can't clear out your closet if you're afraid to go in that back corner. We've got to go in and we've got to get it all out. In order to do that, you turn on the light, you illuminate everything all at one time. Get everything out of the closet, figure it out, take what you want, donate what you don't, throw out the rest. That's how we clear energy. Very similar to that. We turn the light on first because we've got to discover everything that's in there, why it's there, and where it comes from. Mm-hmm. Then we can figure out, is it good for you or bad for you? Is it useful or not? Is it something that you developed great qualities from that you're not even paying attention to yet? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then we use that to drive you forward in creating the life that you want to have, being the person you want to be, rather than somebody that you just are because it's what it is expected of you.
I love it. If you're listening to this and you're wondering why the heck you came across this, there is something in here for you. Do you believe that, Corrie?
Absolutely. We are drawn to exactly, and I tell people the same thing about meditation. I can give you a meditation, absolutely, but you'll never get it wrong. Because if you're scrolling through and it catches your attention, it's meant for you. You stopped for a reason. It's in your awareness for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
Yes. Yes. So step number 1 is to admit.
Absolutely.
Right? To admit that you need help with your life. Not you, us.
As humans, we all do. And there's no shame in that.
No.
We have been brought up as a society to think that we need to do it alone, right? I'm weak if I have to ask for help. I'm weak if I can't do this by myself.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, 99% of people out there cannot do it alone. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs help from somebody somewhere. And so maybe I'm not your person, but there is somebody out there who can help you. And so it's just a matter of reaching out to one person. That person may not be your person, but they may have the connecting piece. There's a reason why you're connecting with each and every single person in our lives. And so you just got to follow the trail. What are you meant to learn and how is it going to benefit you? And it may just be a connecting piece. It may be the piece you need.
Perfect. Well said. So do you have an offer for our viewers?
I did. I thought long and hard about this. And I think the easiest thing to do is if you are curious, if you are wondering, is this for me or not for me? Do I have something or, that kind of thing. And you just, or you want to know, you have something and you're just, what's that one thing I can't get over? I know what the thing is. I just can't figure out why I can't get over it. What I did is normally I do energy readings. They are $250 US to do an energy reading. I've dropped that for anybody who reaches out to me and lets me know that they heard of me through Dela's voice. I've dropped the fee to $97 US.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you. And so what does that give people? So can you?
So an energy reading will be a very real conversation. I tell people to come with a box of Kleenex because I go deep and we go deep fast. I don't like to sit in the, hi, how are you? How is life? That kind of thing. I want to go to your problem. That's what you came for. Let's figure out what the obstacle is. Let's figure out where the experience is or the event is that is holding you back. We're going to figure it out. We're going to trace it back and see where else, like a domino, where else it's affected you in your life. And I'm going to give you an exercise or a series of exercises to help you overcome and release that piece. And I don't leave you. I don't just say, go do this meditation or go do this journaling exercise or go, write this letter or whatever the thing will be, and then never talk to you again. I'm always going to follow up with you.
Yes.
Because I don't want to just awaken your issue and give you the awareness of why you have the obstacle you do or the struggles you do. And then just go, okay, so go figure that out and good on you. I want to follow up with you. I want to make sure that you're doing okay, that you're following through with whatever it is, that you feel like you're supported in clearing all of that so that you can be the best you. Because that's what I do this for.
That brings you joy, I can tell.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you so much. Okay, so I invite you to connect to Corrie on her Facebook page. That's going down, scrolling right now, on Facebook, Corrie.Corrigan. And you can reach her there and let her know that you heard this on Dela's Voice to benefit from the offers she's given us so
Absolutely.
generously. Thank you so much, Corrie.
Thank
I
you
want
for
to give
having
you, of course, it was a wonderful experience. I want to give you a couple of more minutes to leave us with whatever you want to leave us with.
I think the biggest thing that has come through in our time together is the realization that, again, there's no shame in asking for help. There's a reason why you were brought to this show. There's a reason why you're watching this live. There's a reason, maybe you're watching the replay. There's a reason it's in front of you. And so don't get into this cycle of, I can't be helped. I'm beyond that. I'm past that. And, I'm too far in it now. This is for people who are just starting their struggle. Everybody deserves to start somewhere. And today is that place. Now is that time. And so just reach out. It may be something very simple, like a meditation. It may be a journaling exercise. It may be something more. If you are getting that nagging feeling in your head, like, oh, I should, then do it. Follow that. And it doesn't matter whether it's working with me, reaching out to me, or starting, another venture or doing something else. If it is in you, it is for you. It is something that I actually, somebody I highly respect said this. It was Amber Lillystrom did this in a 5-day challenge. And one of the things that she said is, if it's in you, it's for you. There's a reason why you're getting that nagging feeling. There's a reason why it keeps coming back to you over and over again. It's not a mistake. Whatever your belief is, whether it's God or source energy or, the universe or whatever it is, the reason you are getting this idea, the reason you are getting this gift, the reason you have this is because it's meant for you. There was no mistake. It wasn't handed to you and it was meant for the neighbor. It's meant for you. So follow that. And, if you need help figuring that out, then, ask for help and don't feel shame in asking.
There's no shame in asking.
Absolutely.
Yes. I totally believe in the power of asking for help, especially hiring a coach, because it has helped me personally so much. I would not be sitting here across from you, Corrie, had I not taken that first step and hired a first coach. And I've had coaches all throughout. So I totally appreciate what you do. Thank you so much for impacting the world in such a positive way. I mean, your superpower is helping people live their best lives. I mean, this is amazing. It's amazing. I want to wish you the very best. And just a couple of more people I want to make sure we say hi to. Dordane, thank you. She says thank you. And also Solmas, she's just joined us, and thank you so much. Maybe she just commented anyways. So, oh, there was a cute comment from Josie. What about the spiders? That's going back in the closet. What about?
Yeah, they stay in the closet. You don't. Yeah. It's funny. There's a running joke in my family, and that's why Josie will laugh at this. When I bought my house in St. Catharines, I have a very deep property. So it's like 200 feet deep, right? And at the very back of my property is a shed. And so when I first bought the house, I used to say to people all the time, there's no spiders in my house. I signed a contract with them. They can have the shed. I have the house. They don't come in the house. They stay in the shed.
I don't have a problem with spiders. I like them. And Soma says, no question is a stupid question. It's
absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing I think that we need to remember that we always forget is that if you're thinking it, so is somebody else.
Oh, yes.
So you asking isn't always just about getting an answer for you. Sometimes it is getting an answer for somebody else, and being able to, stand up and say, hey, I have this question, is giving somebody else who doesn't have the strength to stand up and ask that question. They're getting the answer for that question anyway, because you had the strength to ask.
Amazing. Amazing. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Again, Corrie has so generously offered to do a reading for you if you call her and tell her that You heard about this on Dela's Voice. She will give you a super fantastic deal. So get rid of that nagging feeling, right? Get rid of that roadblock. I don't know whether maybe it's money, maybe it's relationships, maybe it's health and wellness and weight loss, or whatever it is that you've been trying to do and it just doesn't happen. Maybe there's something Corrie can do to help you. And I really do wish that you would, because we all deserve to live the most joyous, life. Thank you, Corrie. Thank you so much for being here today. And thank you, everybody who's come along with us on this journey. I hope you got from this talk as much as I did, because I just learned so much today from you. And I appreciate you. I acknowledge you, Corrie, for being here, for being the superhero that you are. Keep doing this and keep shining your light, my friend.
Thank you very much. And thank you to everybody who came.
Absolutely. You made it so much more fun. And with that, my friends, this has been another Dela's Voice, hoping to spark your soul. Until next time. Bye, Corrie. Thank you.
Thank you.